Hey, my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now in this video we're going to talk about how you can make some money in property this year. Now we've had a year of uncertainty. In fact, let's be honest, the last 2 or 3 years has been really peculiar to say the very least. We've had pandemics, we've got wars, we've got energy crises, we've got record inflation, and we've got all this to deal with on the back of just entering one of the potentially longest recessions ever. So there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of unpredictability as well. And so what does that mean for property investors? Well, you know what? When you really understand property investing, you'll always make money in whatever is happening in the market. That's very true. So what strategies should you be looking at, what strategies should you be avoiding in this kind of market? Well, here's the ones to avoid first and foremost. And these are probably ones that you guys on the channel might not be doing, so we'll skip through them pretty quickly. But developments, right? Probably spelled that wrong. So developments at the moment are a difficult thing, and the reason for that is that when you finish the development, you might not be able to sell the properties because there are less mortgages available, there's uncertainty, there's pressure on costs and stuff like that. So bigger developments are relatively difficult in this kind of market. Now, most of you aren't going to be doing those. Now, other strategies that I would avoid for now are flips, similar to developments but on a smaller scale. So a flip is where you buy a property that is just in bad condition and it needs a lot of work, and your goal is to fix it up and sell it on. Now, the problem with that is there are less buyers in the market, so it might not sell quick enough. Also, there's a little uncertainty with house prices. So what if the prices drop? What happens to your flip then? That's a difficulty as well, right? So these are two strategies that I would probably park for now, unless you're very experienced and you know exactly what you're doing. I wouldn't jump into that as a new investor. So what does work, right? That's what we want to know. Well, one strategy similar to these that is going to be good in this market is the buy, refurbish, refinance, rent strategy. That's the strategy that I love doing at the moment. And so this is where you buy a property, maybe from an auction or someone that needs to sell, and you can add value to that property. So some examples of recent projects for me: I took a studio flat, I turned it into a 1-bedroom flat. I took a 1-bedroom flat and I turned it into a 2-bedroom flat. I took a house that was derelict and I turned it into a lovely 2-bedroom family home. That's adding value, guys. And you can do that too. You could take a house and it could be in good condition, but you might add an extension, or you might get the energy rating up higher. There's different ways that you can add value to property. And so what you're doing here is you're buying the property, then you're refurbishing the property, and then you're refinancing the property. So you're getting money out of the deal. So the one that I did for my daughter, Georgia, and you can see that on the channel, there's videos on exactly what we did. We bought a property for 60,000, we refurbished it for 12,000, and then we got it revalued at £100,000, right? £100,000, which is pretty good. That allowed us to pull our money out, because on a buy-to-let mortgage, they will lend you 75% of the value. Now, we'd spent 72, we were able to borrow 75. We had other costs, solicitors costs, so it was around 75. So we pulled pretty much all of our money back out of that deal, which means we can go again. And then we bought a property down south, a flat in Dorking, which was our second property. Now, the difference between this and flips is you're holding the property, right? And so you're doing the work, you're getting most of your money out the deal, if not all of it. That gives you some equity in that property straight away, because who knows what's going to go on the market? Is it going to go up, down, sideways? I don't know. You don't know. We can just have a guess, but we don't know for certain, right? And so what this strategy does is it just builds some equity in that property to give us some security, and we're going to get most of our money back out, if not all of it. Some deals, even you get paid to take this money out, and then you're going to get rent, right? And then you're going to benefit from capital appreciation. Now, the market might go up or down or sideways over the next few months, but in the long term, property will always rise. And that's where you make real money in property, is holding property. So the buy, refurbish, refinance, rent strategy, I've got loads of videos on this channel all about that, is a good strategy. Next is rent to rent. Now, why might this be good? This is where you're going to rent a property from somebody, and then you're going to turn it into one of two types of property. One is serviced accommodation, and that's where you might rent a nice apartment, and with the landlord's permission. You have to have the contracts in place, and you have to be legal and compliant, otherwise it's subletting, which is illegal. If you have their permission and you create a corporate let, and then you would rent it out on Airbnb, on booking.com, and that's a great way to take a property that you might rent for £1,000 and quite easily be able to generate £3,000 a month in rent from that property. Now, you've got to pay for costs, so you're going to be paying for gas and electric and council tax and stuff like that, which is fine, but you're going to make the difference, right? And so this is really, really good, and it's a lot better than a standard buy-to-let because you don't own the property. Then what you should do is take that profit and use that to use as deposits for future assets that you buy and own, so you get the capital appreciation. Another way you can do this is where you're going to rent this property and then you're going to turn it into an HMO, a house of multiple occupancy. That's going to allow you to rent it out on a room by room basis. Again, the landlord needs you to, you need to agree this with the landlord. You need the right contract in place. You need permission to do this, guys. And so you're going to rent it. Then you might rent the rooms out on a room by room basis. You might rent it for £1,000. You've got 5 rooms that you're renting there. Let's just say easy numbers, they're 500 quid. That means you get 2.5 grand. The landlord gets his grand, which he was happy with already. And then you're going to pay for the maintenance. You're going to pay out the £1.5 profit you've got each month. You're going to pay for the maintenance, gas and electric. And that's going to leave you with a sizable sum of money at the end of it. So that's another way that you can do really, really well with property in 2023. Now, another great strategy is to deal source, right? And that's where you're going to find deals and you're going to package them up and you're going to sell them to investors like me. I bought a serviced accommodation deal in London for £3,000. Because I didn't have the time to go out looking for it. I'm a busy business owner. I want to spend time with my family. So I'd rather pay someone £3,000 to just find a deal, get it all negotiated, get it all agreed, and then I take that deal on from them. Now, this is a way that you can earn a fortune if you find really, really good below market value deals. Rent-to-rent deals are very good on this. So people want to do this serviced accommodation stuff. They don't want to go looking for it. They don't like negotiating. You're good at that. You get good at that. You get educated on how to do that. That is a very, very good strategy as well. Now, one that really is uncertain at this time, so I'm going to put it in the middle, is just vanilla buy-to-lets. So I'm putting this in between the two. Now, the reason I'm putting it in between is if you just go and get a standard buy-to-let, a new build property, and you run it as a buy-to-let, the money you're going to make because of higher interest rates and all the uncertainty at the moment is probably not going to be worth it. You're going to have to probably put a bigger deposit in than you'd like to make this work. However, if you get good at deal sourcing, you might be able to find some below market value properties where you can get buy-to-let to work, because there are a ton of people at the moment that need to sell properties. And they are landlords, believe it or not. And that's because of something called Section 24, which I have a really detailed video on my channel about that, which you should go and watch. Now, Section 24 means that landlords just get taxed crazy amounts of money to own a property these days. And it's really, really not great. So what Section 24 will do is mean that it's just not good to own property in your personal name anymore. And so those landlords need to sell, and they can't really move it into a limited company. So a lot of them are just tired. There's tons of landlords. In fact, 30% of landlords left in the last 2 years, which is why rents are going through the roof. And so these landlords left because of Section 24. And so what you need to do is find those people, and you can get below market value deals. They just want to get rid of them because maybe they're costing them money each month at the moment. That's not great, is it? So these are things that you should be looking for this year to be great at property investing. Now, we're going to run some training on this. So in the pinned comment below is going to be a link. Check it out. And you can come and join us on a training and find out how to learn to invest in property in 2023. I want to really help you support you on that. Do make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys, if you haven't already. Smash that subscribe, hit the bell. We want to get to 5,000 subscribers. We're really getting close now. We're at 3,700. Thank you for everyone that's subscribed already. Do check out all the other content on the channel. There is 200 videos on here now, including this video right here.